They told you it's a lottery. They told you that if you carry the gene, it is simply a matter of time before the lights go out, before you forget where you left your keys, then where you parked your car, and finally, the names of the people you built your life around. But what if the bad luck narrative is a lie? What if modern medicine has been treating the smoke while ignoring the fire? Leading researchers at the Mayo Clinic and top neuro institutes are now whispering a term you won't hear from your general practitioner: type 3 diabetes.
Your brain isn't dying of old age, it is starving to death. And the killer might be hiding in your breakfast.
Most people think insulin is just a blood sugar hormone, something diabetics worry about. That is a fatal misunderstanding. In your brain, insulin is the master architect. It doesn't just regulate fuel, it governs memory formation, synaptic remodeling, and crucially, waste removal. But here's the mechanism they didn't teach you. When you bombard your body with refined carbohydrates and fructose for decades, your cells stop listening. They become resistant to protect themselves from the toxic sugar load. This creates a terrifying paradox inside your skull. Your blood is overflowing with fuel, but your brain cells are locked shut. They cannot open the door to let the energy in. Ideally, your neurons are high-performance engines, but without insulin signaling, they are starving in the middle of a banquet. This is what scientists call cerebral hypometabolism. Look at this scan. The dark areas aren't just damaged, they are metabolically inactive. They have run out of energy. And when a neuron runs out of energy, it cannot maintain its structure. It withers, it dies. And the famous amyloid plaques everyone talks about? Think of them as uncollected trash. Insulin is the signal to the sanitation crew. When insulin's signal fails, the trash piles up. The plaques are not the cause. They are the symptom of a broken energy system. But I have the gene, you say. My father had it. It's inevitable. Let's talk about the APOE4 allele, the so-called Alzheimer's gene. Yes, carrying this gene increases your risk, but why? A groundbreaking study led by Dr. Gu-Jun Bu at the Mayo Clinic revealed the truth. They found that the gene itself causes an impairment in insulin processing in the brain. But, and this is the key, in animal models, the accelerated damage only happened when combined with a high-sugar, Western-style diet. Think of your genetics as a loaded gun on the table. It is dangerous, yes, but your lifestyle, specifically your insulin levels, is the finger on the trigger.
You keep the safety on. If you keep your insulin sensitive, the gun never has to go off.
Alzheimer's, for the vast majority, is not a genetic sentence. It is an epigenetic choice. How do you know if your brain is already starving? It starts years before the diagnosis. It's not just forgetting a name. It's the brain fog after lunch. It's the sudden irritability because your brain lacks the fuel to regulate emotions. It's struggling to plan a simple troop or finish a laundry cycle. These are the early warning shots of type 3 diabetes. So how do we force the doors open and feed the starving brain? If the front door, glucose, is broken, we need to use the service entrance. We need an alternative fuel source, ketones. Unlike glucose, ketones do not require insulin to enter the brain cells. They bypass the broken resistance mechanism entirely. Studies show that even in brains already suffering from cognitive decline, introducing ketones can restore function. The lights come back on. Here's your protocol to save your mind. 1. Stop eating every 3 hours. Constant snacking keeps insulin chronically high. You need periods of fasting to sensitize your receptors. 2. Incorporate MCT oil or coconut oil. These are rapidly converted into ketones, providing instant rescue fuel for your neurons. 3. Lift heavy things. Muscle is the largest sink for glucose in your body. The more muscle you have, the less insulin you need to manage your blood sugar. You do not have to lose your mind to age. The science is clear. The choice is yours. If you want to know exactly which healthy oils are clogging your cells and making this insulin resistance worse, you need to watch this video on the lipid peroxidation trap next. It's the missing piece of the puzzle.